It is such an honor for me to stand here on this stage.
It's a roll call of Nigerian and African leaders, religious and traditional rulers, government officials, political appointees, members of the National Assembly, as well as party supporters.
We can drill down to what I feel.
They're here for the 2023 Presidential Inauguration Lecture, which centers on the deepening of democracy for national development, to be delivered by Kenya's fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta. But before the keynote speaker delves into his notes, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, highlights the significance of the lecture.
The profound significance of this lecture lies in its power to illuminate the path we must continue to traverse as a nation, deepen our democratic values, and unlock the full potential of our developmental aspirations. It is an occasion that calls for introspection, evaluation, and concerted efforts to strengthen our democratic institutions, practices, and processes.
And when Mr. Kenyatta steps onto the podium, he begins by sharing his experiences as president of Kenya and how he was able to steer the country away from what he describes as negative ethnicity and religious bigotry.
With a country of 43 distinct ethnic communities, having been led exclusively by 2 tribes from independence, we had always found a way to gloss over the issues of negative ethnicity, hoping that by ignoring the issue, it would somehow sort itself out. Nothing could have been further from the truth.
He advises the incoming administration to take stock of the kind of future it hopes to create for Nigerians, because that's what matters at the end of the day.
As president, you must learn very quickly to lead those who love you and those who loathe you with equal passion and commitment, because you are now the father of all. I encourage you to surround yourself with the voices of those who will counterbalance the hardliners that feel entitled to a piece of your office.
Dr. Akinwumi Adesina.
Next to address the gathering is the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who places emphasis on the need to strengthen the nation's economy and reiterates the call for removal of fuel subsidy once and for all.
Fuel subsidies are killing the Nigerian economy, costing the economy of Nigeria $10 billion alone in 2022. Now that means that Nigeria is borrowing what it doesn't have to borrow for. If it simply eliminates these inefficient subsidies and uses the resources well for national development.
Hassan Kuka.
On his part, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Archdiocese, Most Reverend Matthew Kuka, believes the next set of leaders must work towards managing the nation's diversity, while the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, addresses the need for leaders to arrest the rising levels of poverty.
Managing diversity and managing differences is not about religious leaders talking together. It is about whether the state can create the kind of infrastructure, the guardrails, that can help Nigerians move as citizens of their country. Let us create an environment in which all of us can compete, and we will win according to our energy and our speed. So, Mr. Vice President-elect, the challenge for you is to make this country believable, livable, credible, so that all of us together can stand in one tent and build a great nation.
I should also draw your attention to levels of poverty and ignorance in the land, only made worse by the rising population of this country, which is estimated by the United Nations to be well over 400 million by 2050. As political leaders, you need not only think of the next election, but also, and more importantly, think of the next generation.
After all the pieces of advice from various contributors, the Vice President-elect, Kashim Shettima, gives assurances that there's reason to be optimistic about the Tinubu presidency.
I was a child of necessity. There is no any Islamization agenda. Bola Tinubu, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim who is married to a Christian. Not only a Christian, but a pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Someone who has not Islamized his family. People are alluding that he has the intention to Islamize the nation. As we begin the formation of a new administration, I deliberately picked an Igbo man, a Catholic, to be my chief security officer. Stand up for recognition, please. For the purpose of inclusivity and togetherness, again, I deliberately picked a Northern Christian to be my ADC. So the so-called founder of Boko Haram is going to be protected by...
This optimism is shared by President Muhammadu Buhari, who is confident that the president-elect and his team will deliver. However, he reminds Nigerians that the task of nation building is a collective responsibility.
I am filled with a renewed sense of hope, hinged on the capacity of my successor, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to deliver on the assignment given to him by Nigerians. We have acknowledged that the task of nation building is a collective one, transcending political affiliations and personal interests. It is a commitment to leaving no Nigerian behind, ensuring that every citizen feels the positive impact of good governance and enjoys the dividends of democracy.
Now that the inauguration lecture is over, the nation looks forward to the next big event when the new administration will be officially installed.